Thank you. So I invite you to close your eyes. And we begin by tuning into the body, preparing the body to meditate. It's very feeling ourselves held by the chair, feeling our feet on the ground. It's very good if the spine and the neck are pointing up toward the ceiling. And then we begin by just tuning into the everyday breath, observing the everyday breath. Today we'll be working with a water element, one of the four elements, earth, water, fire, and air. And so I invite you to change the breathing to the water breath, which is simply breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth. So we just have a regular inhale through the nose and then a more emphasized exhale through the mouth, kind of like a long sigh. We like to say with Harvard the meditation that breath is life. So we seek to deepen the breath, especially the soft, full belly breath. So I invite you to put one hand over the belly, just allowing the breath to deepen. With the deeper breath, more oxygen is released into the bloodstream. So every cell in the body is nourished and our nervous system is soothed. So just really allowing the breath to deepen, feeling the belly expand on the inhale and contract back toward the spine on the exhale. And then I invite you to put the other hand over the heart. This becomes the focus of our meditation. It is, after all, at the center of the body. The heart and the lungs are very close to each other, so together they become the basis for our practice. With every inhale and exhale, our attention is here on the heart. The heart loves this attention. It's very nourishing for our heart and our being. It may feel as though we're breathing in and out from the heart. And at this time, we also always are looking for the sensation of the heartbeat. At first, we might feel a pulse somewhere in the body, Perhaps we have the gift for the heartbeat right where the heart is. And over time with this practice, we can actually feel our entire circulation pulsating across the whole body. So it's a practice easily, the steps are easy, but it can be a lifetime to master. Our theme today is creating what we love. Creating what you love. I invite you to take this theme into our meditations today and see what arises for you for this theme of creating what we love. So now we'll continue, furthering beyond the basic practice to the water element meditation practice. This is a practice that involves the vertical dimension of the heart from above coming down below to the earth. So we begin by using the energy of the breath, the intention of the breath on the inhale, moving upward, infinitely upward on the inhale. The upward dimension represents our ideals, ourselves in the most angelic, pure form. And it is a lifting of the heart. So a wonderful practice to reach infinitely upward beyond the stars on the inhale. And then on the exhale, there is the pouring down of water. It can be like rain, is a wonderful metaphor. Pure, pure, divine, loving energy pouring down like a waterfall. Water element, like all four element breaths, is a purification practice. And so purification by water happens through these pure waters that pour down upon us. And so perhaps we feel this pure, loving energy pouring down over the head, down the crown and the top of the head, the forehead, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, all five senses purified by water. So in this way, it's like a body scan in a way. We don't typically use that term, but pour the purifying water is poured down the neck, spine, the shoulders, the arms, the fingers, pouring down and purifying, of course, our hearts, chest, the lungs, all the organs, the digestion, the second center, our procreative centers, the root, our sense of home, the legs, the feet. And then these purifying waters even pour down further down, down, seeping down into the earth. So it's as if with every inhale and exhale, this wonderful cycle reaching up to the heavens, and the water is pouring down to the depths of the earth, where we become these conduits, wonderful vessels, beings of life that connect heaven and earth. And perhaps we want to stay just in this, you know, this place of cleansing ourselves, purifying ourselves. This in itself is a sacred practice. Water breath is also about pouring the waters down into the depths of the heart. And then also lifting up to the heavens to our ideals, the purity, the sacredness above, returning back to who we really are, who we're meant to be here while we're on earth. And this pure, loving energy pouring down, the waters pouring down into the heart is where a lot of deep, deep healing happens. The tender places in the heart, the water pours down where it's needed most. I think through the swings and throws of life, we've all had experiences where we've been let down, where ideals were not met. Quote from one of my teachers that comes to mind is, "We must shatter our ideals against the rock of truth." So perhaps we've had some of our ideals shattered. And this is the practice to restore ourselves back, to heal, and to start anew, stronger, even even more ready. I think it's also a practice of self-love. It can be very difficult to get to that place for many people, myself included, to allow the love to pour in. That may be the hardest challenge of all. And it's kind of a dance when the water is pouring down into the dark crevices of the heart, begins to get intense. We can always emphasize the inhale, emphasizing the lifting of the heart and our more angelic side, reaching up above beyond the cosmos and the stars, where we get in touch with something far lighter, more ethereal and sacred that is also us. Purity, a very pure version of ourselves. And we rest in that abode, that aspect of ourselves. Sometimes after a long day, that lifting of the water breath is really what's needed more than anything else. I invite you to check in with how you feel now compared to how we were at the beginning of the practice. Perhaps we notice a difference. And as we draw the first meditation toward a close, I invite you to feel the feet on the ground, feeling ourselves held by the chair. You can return your breathing back to the everyday breath. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. I invite you to close your eyes. We'll be retracing this most of the steps that we went through for the first meditation, beginning with attention to the body, making any necessary adjustments to our posture, and giving the body any attention needed to be comfortable and still for some time. I like to roll my shoulders back a couple times, really opening up the chest and the heart. Palms on our lap. And then, like before, we'll return to the water breath, the breathing pattern we associate with a water element, which is inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And just like before, I invite you to put one hand over the belly, really allowing ourselves to fully breathe, deepening the soft belly breath with a water breath pattern in through the nose, out through the mouth. And I invite you to put the other hand over the heart, where this is the focus of our attention for all of our meditations, really, in our tradition, is the heart. And so with every breath, every inhale, every exhale, we are nourishing our hearts, giving our hearts attention, care, and the heart just, it's just such a wonderful place to focus. We like to say the heart makes its own medicine. And then, like, before we'll move into a deeper practice of the water element. And so if we haven't done so, we can start to work with the vertical dimension of the heart or play with the vertical dimension of the heart, where on the inhale, there's the intention of the breath to go upward and upward and upward without limitation. And this very pure water is poured down upon us on the exhale. I do think that, this intention where allowing the waters to pour down and pour and seep into our being, our hearts, where they needed most. This is really the nature of water. When the waters pour down the mountainside, seeping and collecting into streams, rivers, overcoming all sorts of obstacles. Do you know, even as human beings, circumventing great rocks and mountains and things. The nature of water does it such a natural, beautiful way, gently collecting together and pouring down into the oceans, the destination. So in that way, these pure waters and the rain and waters pour down into the depths of the heart. Offering cleansing, nourishing, purification. There are many wonderful applications of the water breath for our lives. The water breath is our recommended practice for relationships of all kinds. It can be parent, child, romantic relationships, friendships, colleagues at work. So this is a wonderful practice to think of another, to meditate on another, with another. I've done the water breath hand in hand with others. It could be a beautiful practice. Forgiveness is a wonderful reason to do the water breath. Forgive me as I forgive thee. Healing, purification, some topics we've covered already. It's also a recommended practice before bed. For having trouble sleeping, we can maybe go get a glass of water, but then also maybe sit for a little bit and do the water breath before bed. It's also wonderful for creativity. And this is more of our theme today, creating what we love. Perhaps we're going to create a wonderful piece of art. And creation just takes so many forms. Maybe we're teaching children, and that's a form of creation. We're doing anything in the world almost. can be thought of a form of creation, creating beauty in the world. Gardening, decorating the house. I think it's very important to nourish ourselves first. I think that came up a lot in our sharings. And so maybe we just continue for the remainder of today to nourish our own hearts. I always like to offer the option to bring in another to our meditations, though, as well, especially with a water breath. And so, if you'd like, perhaps you can ask your heart, is there another that I should bring forward to meditate for or with? And you can just put this person's name on the heartbeat or on the breath, the inhale and the exhale. And this can be a really take the sacredness of a practice to another level, where two or more are gathered. This is not a solitary path. We often meditate together in this tradition. To bring in another to our practice is one of our favorite ways to meditate. And so now I'm going to put a piece of music on. This is also something we do every time to conclude our final meditation. And I invite you to keep meditating to the music. It can be wonderful to meditate with music. I hope you enjoy this piece.
Waves are coming in, waves are coming in. There is so much magnificence near the ocean. Waves are coming in, waves are coming in.
Thank you.